This might be a hot take, but what Aaron Judge has done over the last 2 months, I seriously don't think that we'll ever see a stretch like this ever again. He hit another home run. He's got 31 already. Jose Altuve got ejected for just the second time in his career, and to be honest with you guys, he had every right to be upset. A rookie hit for the cycle. I'm going to blur it because I don't want to spoil it just yet. Bobby Witt Jr., he showed off the all-time speed again. He went home to first in 11 seconds, which is just mind-blowing. And the Rockies and the White Sox game, I know it's kind of random, but it was pretty intense. Wait for that one. It was a lot of fun to watch. You guys know the drill. This is MLB Recap. We post these every single day, so join the team. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off. Use code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy. All right, let's start talking baseball. So before we show Aaron Judge basically putting up an MVP season in half the season, we got to go to Baltimore for a cycle. Derek Hill, he wanted to remind his teammates that he's not actually bad because remember, a few days ago, he missed a catch and that allowed an inside the park home run. He made up for it. He has a home run in back-to-back games. That's a long home run, and I just want to show this. Baltimore, they tied it for a second. Ryan O'Hearn, he got the start versus lefties, which never happens, but he rewards them. If he can even hit 280 versus lefties, he can unlock a big hole in his game. But don't get it twisted. O'Hearn, he still destroys righties. So they tied it only to have Wyatt Langford and the boys grab the lead back and never look back. Wyatt, he legged out a triple. Keep that in mind. Nathaniel Lowe, he lined one to center. Wyatt scores. The former Cardinals catcher Andrew Kisner, he had an RBI base knock. And Josh Smith, he added another paper cut. It was just paper cut after paper cut against the Orioles. I think that's the third RBI single of the inning off of Cole Irvin, who has a 10 ERA over his last 3 starts. Wyatt, he wanted 2 bases on this one. He jolted one through the hole. Most guys stay put, but he said, no, I want 2 bases. So he's now a home run away from the cycle. That double scored Adolis. Lowe, he played another RBI to make it 7-2. Derek with another moonshot. 440 feet to his own bullpen. Good for him. He's also top 1% in speed. Wyatt, he's basically that fast as well in Texas. They're just showing off all the tools in this one. That is a cycle. Wyatt Langford just became the second Rangers rookie ever to do that. He's hitting .330 with 3 home runs, 20 RBIs, and 6 stolen bases over his last 20 games and only striking out 13.6% of the time. That is insane. The cherry on top, Andrew Heaney. He struck out 10 Orioles over 7 innings. He did not walk anyone. He only allowed 2 runs as well. Once this team gets back Josh Young and Jacob deGrom in the rotation, sheesh. Wyatt Langford has been going off the last few weeks, but we know that Aaron Judge, he's been on an all-time heater for like 2 months now. Now, Juan Soto was originally benched to rest his hand, but he said, nah, coach, I'm going to be in there. There he is ripping a single. So this is now a 2-run monster home run from the captain. Aaron Judge, he's put up an MVP season in half the games. Like if I said Aaron Judge won MVP with 31 home runs, a 217 OPS plus, and a 6 WAR, you're probably thinking he did that over 600 at-bats. No, it's been 301 at-bats. And what's kind of crazy is Gunnar Henderson, he's still actually on pace for a higher F4 because he's got the speed and the defense along with the power. So who's going to win MVP? DJ, hopefully he can keep this going because he's been awful over the last year and a half. He singles in their 3rd run, and it's still kind of weird to see Vladdy with the haircut, but here's DJ again. This time he motors in for an RBI double, a 2-bagger. He's fired up, rightfully so. Trent Grisham, I thought that this ball had a chance at leaving. It kicks off the wall for a 2-run double. Trent has been very good the last week or so. Garrett Cole, he bounced back in a big way. He struck out his final hitter of the night, his 6th strikeout. So 5 innings, just a 1 run and 1 walk. Ben Rice, attaboy. The rookie put a charge into that thing. I thought maybe that one's leaving. Nope, just like Trent Grisham, it bounces off the wall. He's in for another RBI extra base hit for the Yankees. And is this another? Verdugo to deep center, but the Platinum Glover, Kevin Kiermaier, he's not letting them have another. Don't forget, this guy has a career 170 DRS. Now that's it for this one. The Yankees take it 8-1, so they stay tied neck and neck at first place with the Orioles. Jose Altuve got ejected in this game. He never gets ejected, so let's see what happened. Houston, they came out swinging. John Singleton, he went deep for a 6 home run, and after Yainer Diaz and Jake Myers both drove in a run, Altuve, he broke his bat for their 4th run. Dubon, he comes around to score, and by the way, Mauricio Dubon has played every single position this year, minus catcher and obviously pitcher. So Houston, they're feeling themselves. They already beat the Mets the day before, but the Mets, they were not going to go down without showing the power of Grimace and the magic of friendship. Mark Vientos is a dog. This kid is making Mets fans forget that Brett Baty even exists. He has 17 extra base hits, 25 RBIs, and a near 170 OPS plus in 38 games. Okay, here's the ejection. Altuve, he dribbled one off his foot to 3rd base with 2 outs, but he's not moving because obviously it hit his cleat. They called him out. They said it did not hit Altuve, and I don't know if Houston had already used the replay, but that ends the inning and Jose's night at the same time. You rarely see Jose Altuve Altuve that mad he throws his bat. He's not too happy. That's only his second career ejection. And there goes the lead. Brian Abreu, his home runs per 9 has doubled this year. Brendan Nimmo went the other way for his 100th career home run. That's going to force extras. Nimmo, he laced another RBI extra base hit, but not before Chas McCormick singled in a run before that. So it's tied at 10-10. To the 11th inning we go. Jake Myers, he broke the tie again. So it's 6-5 Astros, make it 8-5. The rookie Joey Loperfido, who reminds me a lot of Jarren Duran, he plates 2, and then another rookie outfielder did the exact same thing. Trey Cabbage, he tucked in the Mets with a 2-run line drive double. The Astros, they take 2 in a row against what were the red hot Mets. You guys want to hear a fun sentence? Christian Yelich is playing like an all-star again. After Nico Hoerner blasted off on the first pitch, I do want to show that Yelly, he socked a prodigious 2-run home run to center field. He's batting .321 with 8 home runs and 8 stolen bases. And by the way, he has a 150 OPS plus thanks to his 11% walk rate and a near 400 on base percentage this year. Things got real bad for the Cubs. Ian Happ, he embarrassed his new manager, Craig Counsell. Remember, he's facing his former team, the Brewers, in Milwaukee. He just missed the catch. Sal Frelick, he sent an RBI middle up the gut, and Jackson Chourio, he singled to load them up. The last 4 base hits the Brewers have had with the bases loaded have been grand slams. Make it 5. They have 5 grand slams in their last 8 games. I mean, a lot of Cubs fans were saying the season's over, chalk it up. Bryce Terang is hitting .292 with 6 home runs, 28 stolen bases, and 10 defensive run saves. Milwaukee was raining the boos on Craig Counsell as he came out to replace Cal Hendricks. Freddie Peralta, on the other hand, he was money. He was disgusting. He locked in after that solo home run to Nico Hoerner. He punched out 8 Cubs over 7 frames. He only allowed 2 base hits. He has 120 strikeouts in 94 innings. Milwaukee, they're the first team in the NL Central to 50 Ws. Things could get messy in the AL West pretty soon. The Seattle fan base, they're about to put out a missing persons report on J-Rod. We'll talk about him more in just a moment because Trevor Larnach, he had a big day. He's a strong man. He needed all of his strength to muscle that one into the outfield. Austin Martin, he made it 2-0 after he went to deep left center. That's a double. And Minnesota, they're now up by 3. Jose Miranda, I'll keep on saying this. He's so back and he deserves the shine, and me repeating that after his dreadful 2023. Like, he was very bad last year. Here's J-Rod, runners at first, and he hit it a whopping 4 feet. Now, luckily for Seattle, Joe Ryan misplayed it. I mean, he recovered, but he didn't at the same time because Dylan Moore, he was called out, but it was overturned. Vasquez, he just whiffed the tag. Oh no, the Twins defense, it keeps on caving. Luke Raley, he's handed an RBI infield single. Seattle, they're now within 1 run of tying it, and they got it done. Jorge Polanco, he reset the game in the 7th inning. He plates Luke Raley to make it 3-3, but remember what I said? Trevor Larnach had a big day. His exclamation point was a 2-run go-ahead blast into the J-Rod squad in deep center, his 8th home run. Johan Duran, he went 1-2-3 for his 12th save. The Twins, they are cooking with hot oil. They're 14-6 over their last 20. They need to Royals to clutch up and beat the Guardians, which is weird to say, but because the Guardians are in first, yeah, they need the Guardians to lose. Now, before we show that Guardians and Royals game, we have to talk about Julio Rodriguez, who's got crazy defense and the great speed as always, but his overall offensive game has fallen off a cliff this year. He's hitting .247 with an 84 OPS plus. He's striking out 27% of the time. Now, he does have a .330 BABIP, so it's not like he's getting unlucky because he's hitting .330 on balls put in play. I think he's going to be all right, but 13 extra base hits with 29 RBIs in 85 games. They got to get this guy going because now they're only 3.5 games ahead of the Astros for first place. And we know what the Astros have done lately. They're winning ball game after ball game. Speaking of first place, we got a few of those teams coming up. The Guardians, they're in first place. They're taking on the Royals again, and then we'll show the Dodgers game right after. Cleveland, they had 2 wide throws, slow down this Salvador Perez double play, so it's overturned. Kansas City, they're up 1-0. Garrett Hampson, he doubled their lead on a double, which was cool and all, but this is even cooler. Like, you guys know I'm a Guardians fan for life, right? But Bobby Witt Jr. is so much fun to watch. He got to third base in 11 seconds. He is the fastest player in baseball, according to StatCast. Vinny Pasquantino, he's pulling baseballs and pulling an Ohtani. What does that even mean? Well, Ohtani, he had an RBI in 10 consecutive games. Vinny, he now has an RBI in 7 games in a row. Seth Lugo, he was masterful again. The signing of Seth Lugo has been out of this world. The Royals, they're proving that you can reshape your entire rotation in just a few months because they traded for Cole Reagans, they signed Seth Lugo, who lowered his ERA to 2.17 after shutting out Cleveland over 6. By the way, he struck out 10, so he's not a big strikeout guy, but he has 26 strikeouts over his last 18 and 2/3. Salvador Perez, he's getting hot. This Kansas City team is a problem when things are clicking. Bobby and Vinny are spraying extra bases. Salvi had 2 home runs and 5 RBIs in this series, so the Royals, they take 3 of 4 from the Guardians. They play 7 more times this year. Now, luckily, Cleveland had a crazy start, so they're still 6 games up on the Twins and 7 games up on the Royals. But the Guardians have some serious pitching concerns, including one of their biggest concerns, Tristan McKenzie, who's allowed the most home runs and walks of any pitcher this year. He has been sent down to AAA because opposing hitters, are essentially Aaron Judge versus his fastball. Gavin Williams, thankfully, will take his spot in the rotation, so let me know. Do you have faith in Tristan McKenzie to come back and bounce back, or do you think that he should call it a season, get that UCL surgery, and just kind of call it and say, I'll be back for 2026? What do you guys think? In the blink of an eye, the Giants went up 9-0 versus their first place division rivals, the LA Dodgers. San Francisco went up 1 on a Chapman sac fly, and Jorge Soler, he pummeled a long 2-run double over the head of Andy Pages. Soler has been very good lately. He's hitting .280 with 12 extra base hits and 15 RBIs over his last 25 games. David Villar, he wanted it in on the RBI double action, so it's 5-0 Giants after that swing. Elliot Ramos, good lord, like, I know it didn't leave, but his pop is ridiculous. San Francisco grabs another RBI 2-bagger, and they're not done with those. Patrick Bailey, he is a borderline superstar. 2 more RBIs for him. He's hitting .285 with the 130 OPS plus, and he's been an absolute buzzsaw behind the dish. The framing and the throwing out runners, I mean, he does that with the best of them. The hit parade continued. Matt Chapman cranked one out. He's got 20 RBIs and an almost 900 OPS over his last 38 games. Rookie starting pitcher Spencer Bivens, he gave up a nuke to Chris Taylor, but check this out. He bared down. He got Ohtani again. He struck him out twice, and Dodgers fans, they were like, did he win the World Series or something? What is going on? Hey, the rookie struck out Ohtani twice. He had a great start. He's allowed to be fired up. Patrick Bailey laced another RBI double that made it a 10 spot, but yeah, that does it. The Giants, they went 10-4. To kickstart this next game, we kind of had a split screen of Paul Skeens showing off the grips on his pitches, and Oneil Cruz, I mean, he just rudely interrupted that. He went 452 feet at 117 miles an hour. I was trying to learn, Oneil. What the heck? Rowdy Tellez, same thing. He demolished a 2-run tater as well. That was only 109 off the bat, so not as cool. Not gonna lie, the game's basically a wrap after that, but we do have to show a few other things. Austin Riley, he made a David Wright-esque kind of catch without grabbing it with his bare hands, but that's a nice over-the-shoulder catch. Brian Reynolds, dang it, his hit streak got snapped at 25 games. The Braves, they were down by 3 in the 9th. They got a few base runners on for Arcia, who jolted a ball to center. But what a play. Michael A. Taylor, he literally just got inserted into the game. He replaced Jack Sawinski. He saves multiple runs from scoring. Aroldis got his 3rd save. And before we move on, shout out to Bailey Falter. I want to just talk about him real quick. He held the Braves to 2 base hits. He struck out 5, which is a lot for him. He has a 3.8 ERA, which is very solid for a 4 or a 5 starter behind Skeens, Jones, Keller, and the rest of the guys. I want you guys to let me know in the comments, do you think that the NL East race is over? Because the Phillies, they can go up 8 games if they beat the Marlins. Jazz, he's beating up the Philly Fanatic. I love the Philly Fanatic, by the way. The Marlins actually went up 1 on a Josh Bell double. Brian De La Cruz, he scored all the way from first base. But Alec Bohm, he's back. Bohm bombs are back. He smokes a 2-run line drive home run for his 10th of the season. He now leads the NL with 68 RBIs. He's beating Ozuna. Brian De La Cruz, he is an extra base machine. He's got 15 home runs, 31 extra base hits overall, but a terrible 289 on base, so he has to figure out walking. Miami, they kept it moving off of Ranger Suarez, who easily had his worst start of the year. By the way, he gave up 6, and his ERA went up to like 2.2. That's how good he's been. But we're going to skip to Nicky Two Bags in the 5th inning. Castellanos, he nearly hit a 2-run home run. He settles for an RBI double. Here's Nick again. 2 more score in the very next inning off the bat of Castellanos. Nick had 3 RBIs on 4 base hits. He's officially in the 40 RBI club. Now they're still down by 1. Trey, he's up with a few guys on. Another laser beam to TA7. Tim Anderson, he can't get there. So Nick and Trey both had perfect ground balls to Tim. He just seems to have the range and the reaction of a walnut. Trey is now hitting .332 with 17 extra base hits in 45 games. Jeff Hoffman, he strikes out Tim Anderson for a 6 strikeout. Philly is the first to 55 wins, and by the way, Tim Anderson, he's hitting .214 with 0 home runs, a 30 OPS plus, and below average defense. He has a negative 1.2 WAR. So we have back-to-back 7-6 ball games, and the Angels, I think they're going for their 6th or 7th W in a row. We're going to skip to the 4th inning. Detroit, they put up a few runs when the rookie Justin Henry Malloy, he charged up for a loud double. Mickey Moniak, he just misjudged the jump. It bounced away, and if I'm an Angels fan, I'm so mad at Mickey. He's fast, he can move, and he just decided to leisurely jog to the baseball, and that really burns me. Malloy, he belly flops in for an inside the park home run. He ate some dirt in the process. Now we have an actual home run. Carson Kelly hit a 3-run no-doubter to put Casey Mize up by 7. Mize, by the way, had 10 strikeouts in his last start. He went 5 1/3 shutout in this one on just 3 base hits, but he had to leave early with some cramping. Man, if he gets going and they call up Jackson Jobe, I like the Detroit staff with Screwball. You have Flaherty, you got Mize, you got Jobe. That's pretty good. Reese Olson, the Angels. Wait, whoa. Zach Neto, he just destroyed a 3-run home run. He flipped the bat to the Matterhorn. He's got 30 extra base hits and 6 defensive run saves. Joe Adell, this one went even further, 430 feet to make it a 1-run game. He has 13 home runs, but a terrible 29 strikeout percentage, and he's hitting like 198 or something like that. The Tigers deployed lefty Holton to face Nolan Shawnewell, who already had 2 base hits, and that'll do it. The 6-game win streak of the Angels has officially been snapped, but Mike Trout did come out and say that he's almost ready. So if they get back Rendon and Trout, what if Reed Detmers comes back? What if the Angels go on a magical run? I need that. We have back-to-back shutouts coming out, and man, Taj Bradley was absolutely disgusting for the Rays. There he is getting an early lead as Isaac Paredes pulled, obviously, he pulls every single home run that he hits. He's got 13 home runs on the season. Jose Caballero, he teed one up off of Patrick Corbin as well. Jose has not been Wander Franco good. I hate to even say his name, but he's got 5 home runs, 24 stolen bases, and 4 outs above average. He's done a very good job at holding down that massive hole left behind by the weirdo. Time for some Taj Bradley action. Taj struck out 11 Nationals over 5 1/3. Taj now has a 1.2 ERA and 40 strikeouts over his last 5 starts. Randy, how did he do that? He took a low and outside slider and pulled it 425 feet for his 11th home run. He hit .291 with an insane .425 on base percentage in the month of June. The Rays, they went easy. They've now won 7 of their last 10 games. The Rays, they're coming around as well. So a lot of teams are kind of slow starters. I think the Rays are in that group this year. Lance Lynn was frying the Reds left and right early. He struck out a few, and ultimately this strikeout of Noelvi Marte was his 1,000th career strikeout as a Cardinal. He's 10 away from 2,000 for his career in general. Pedro Pajes and Mason Wynn, they both singled in the 5th inning, and Alec Burleson, he snapped an 0 for 16 streak. So the Cardinals, they're up by 1. Hunter Green, he then hit Wilson Contreras, and things I thought were about to get chippy because Wilson, he's staring down Hunter. Hunter is staring right back. They started mouthing off to each other. I wanted a World Star moment, but we didn't get it, dang it. Hunter's out the game, and Cincinnati is now out of the jam, so nothing. It's still 1-0. When Arenado and Pedro Pajes, they had some deja vu in the 6th. They both had some singles, and Mason Wynn, he was able to turn a single into a double. He has 16 doubles and a pretty impressive 111 OPS plus, which is great for a guy who just turned 22 years old, and he's a middle infielder. Lance Lynn, he gets the W after going 6 scoreless with 6 strikeouts, and Ryan Helsley, he's the first in baseball to 30 saves. The Cardinals, they're still fighting. They're 13-7 over their last 20. Padres knuckleballer Matt Waldron had an emotional start in Fenway because he grew up a big-time Tim Wakefield fan. We know that he unfortunately passed away recently. Devers, okay, wait, we're doing the moment, my guy. He almost went to the number 49 Tim Wakefield sign on the monster, so that was kind of neat. That's a 2-run home run. Waldron's knuckleball was moving a little bit too crazy. Higashioka, he missed it. Boston, they get another run on a pass ball. And check out this grab from Cedon Rafaela. The Boston Red Sox are full of just dudes who can flat out play baseball. They can go get it. They can also flat out rake. Jarren Duran, he's been mythical in the first half. He has 42 extra base hits, 20 stolen bases, 6 outs above average. By the way, this was all for Josh Winkowski. He went 5 scoreless. Kenley Jansen, he reties Craig Kimbrell. They're both now 1 away from tying K-Rod. They have 436 saves for their career. Brandon Pfaadt was feeling himself early versus the Oakland Athletics. He had 4 punch-outs through the first 3. Actually, he had 5 strikeouts. Luis Medina of the A's, he was just as good, but he gave up the game's first run. Christian Walker now has 52 RBIs. He leads the entire Arizona Diamondbacks. Zach Geloff, I thought this was a pop-up to shallow right, but Jake McCarthy, he's tracking it back. He's tracking it. He leaps, and it's just outside the reach. That right there was the 9,000th career home run in A's franchise history. So Geloff, he ties it, but Blaze Alexander, the rookie, he's deployed as holy voice crack. He's deployed as a pinch hitter with the bases loaded, and he plates too. Austin Adams, the relief pitcher, has been very bad lately. He allowed the 2 runs, then a third after Walker drove in his 53rd RBI. A very easy game. The Diamondbacks win 5-1. Now let's get into a wild one. So this game started off with a balk and a Hunter Goodman sac fly to put the Rockies up by 2 when Andrew Vaughn, he crushed a Kyle Freeland. It's not really a mistake pitch. Actually, it's not a mistake at all. That was just a great swing. He has 10 home runs on the year. Luis Robert Jr., La Pantera, he made a nice grab to rob Brenton Doyle. And for anyone still saying in the comments it's Luis Robert, he says it on the White Sox page. It's Luis Robert. That's what he says. Garrett Crochet, he was nasty again. He was flawless after the 2 runs in the 2nd inning. 11 more strikeouts. You probably won't believe me, but Garrett Crochet has 141 strikeouts and 101 innings. That is a 12.5 strikeouts per 9. He's basically been 2018 sticky stuff, Houston Astros, Garrett Cole level nasty. Doyle, he returned the favor against Luis. He robs Luis of a base hit. Vaughn, he's handed a free RBI. He's walked the bases loaded, so it's now 2-2. This game is going to need extras because Tovar, he started a nice double play to end the 9th inning. This kid's going to be so sick for the next decade and a half. Tommy Pham, oh, I thought he was about to walk it off, but Brenton Doyle, he pulled another Superman catch. The 2023 Gold Glover, he was all over the place. He's willing his team to victory. Both teams traded runs again in the 13th. This game is never going to end. Tovar dunked one in, and Rober, he singled to right center. Please, someone end this game. Now, here's Luis again. He threw a seed to home, but it's a tad bit up the 3rd baseline. Tolia, his sac fly wins it. Jalen Beeks, he goes 2 innings, so 2 innings, which is pretty impressive for Jalen Beeks. That was a wild game. The Rockies, they win by a single run. Well, that does it for today's recap. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. And by the way, a quick little heads up, there are only 3 games today, so I don't know if there's going to be a recap tomorrow. We might do a live stream or another video. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I appreciate your support. Catch you guys there, and enjoy the web gems.
Line to center. Jazz dives and makes the catch.
Sends this one to right. Cabbage is going to have to go back on this. Leaps up and makes a great
ground ball to short. Got to hurry here. Adames, long throw. What a play.
Pitch for him.
Rock to right field. Perez is back at the track and went. Toward the right field corner. Jake McCarthy on the run. Jake to the track and to the wall. Down to center. Doyle. Doyle makes the catch. Hard to short, smothered by Perdomo. Plants and throws. Hard on the ground, diving stop, Gunnar Anderson.